What's going on, guys? Coach Alistair, and I have my good friend.
Rose Parma, hello, you guys.
Look, we have a lot of Rose and I. We geek out all the time. We have a lot of great conversations, and we're like, we just need to go live. We just need to go live and talk about what it is that we're talking about to everybody because we both have unique stories, but we have a lot of alignment. And I just see it. I see it out there on the community groups. I see it on people's posts, and people are hurting financially, right? And they're hurting for money and they're trying to do all this extra stuff and they're trying to keep the balance of life going. They're trying to be able to balance kids, all the sports, all the activities. They're working a job. Maybe they have a side job. Their spouse or significant others working a job and they're trying to balance it all. And they feel completely and totally overwhelmed right now. And what's so amazing is that we have our stories which kind of plug in that. So, Rose, talk a little about mom of nine. You have your ministry, you have your business, you have your side business, you have all this stuff going on, but you were there. You were there. You were watching people on social media. You were overwhelmed. You were working
Yeah,
as a nurse and not being able to still pay your bills. Talk a little bit about that because I think your story is so inspirational. It's going to be able to help so many people.
yeah. Honestly, the word overwhelmed, I can tell you that I related so much to that. I felt like I was trapped in the word overwhelmed, exhausted, burnt out, stressed out, working harder than I ever thought I would have to work as a critical care nurse. At this time, I didn't have that many babies. I do now have nine, but I think I had like five babies at this time. I was in the hospital, and I actually remember this. I remember that I had just had a baby. I was 3 months postpartum. The hospital was crazy packed. We were understaffed, and I needed to pump. Okay, like I was nursing my baby, and I needed to pump. I couldn't get a break. I literally could not leave my patients and get a break. And so I finally said, like, I am going to have to put in a grievance if you guys don't let me go pump. And I
Wow.
called my husband on FaceTime and he had the baby there. And I just remember I was like in this little closet that had a little chair and a light for me to pump. And I just started sobbing, Alistair. I lost it because at that moment I thought, this is it. I thought I was getting into nursing so that I can care for people and make a lot of money and have freedom for our family, be able to work 3 12-hour shifts. My husband's a nurse as well. We would be able to make this happen, right? That was not the story we were living. It was like we were trying to work overtime, extra time, and the more money we made, the more taxes we were paying, the more bills we had. And it just felt like exhaustion over and over. And I felt like we were hitting a wall. The harder we worked, the harder we tried, the more of a wall we hit. And I know this relates to people because when I talk about this, I hear so many people say, I am there right now. So, to our audience, I just want to say, I know the struggle. The struggle is real. So, in that moment, I literally made the decision. I looked at my husband on FaceTime with ugly crying, tears, all the things. And I looked at him and I looked at my baby and I said, I'm going to figure out a way that I get to work from home because I am not going to leave my child anymore, my children at that time anymore, so that I can go and take care of everybody else in the hospital. Yet you're having to take care of the baby and I'm burnt out and we're not even making enough money to even let this happen. Right. So that was a pivotal moment for me. Often when we feel like our back is up against the wall, where it's like the bills are adding up, the
Yep.
bank account is depleting, right? And our mental health is like all of a sudden, what is even happening? That was that moment for me. And I was just over it. So yeah.
And it's crazy because, I remember a similar situation. I actually was the single guy for a long time, all the way up until my 30s, the single guy out there grinding. And when you're doing it for yourself, it's easy to be able to hustle, eat ramen noodles, grind. I was traveling all over the place with my clients and so on and so forth. But whenever I got back from Finland, I met Wendy. Austin was 7 and Riley was 3. So now all of a sudden, I'm an instant dad and I have responsibilities, right? I remember that first trip, whenever it is I'm getting ready to leave. And now, client says, get on the plane. I'm getting ready to get on the plane. I pack my bag and I get to the garage and they're bawling. They're like bawling. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm just going on a trip. They're like, are you coming back? And I was like, I
Oh,
can't just You know what I mean? You want to talk about it, rip my heart out, right? Before it was just me, go, go, go. But I realize I have a different level of responsibility now that I have these kids that I'm supporting and that I have that are looking up to me. And I made a vow to myself to be a present dad and to always be able to be there at their stuff. That was a choice that I got to make as an entrepreneur. But when you're running and trying to pay the bills and working several different things, and I'm doing all these different side hustles, like you said, and the numbers just aren't adding up. Wendy was a teacher at the time, and the numbers just aren't adding up. You just got to do whatever it takes. So trying to find that balance was really, really tough. And that's whenever it is that we ran across network marketing. It was great because now I can leverage my time. Not only do I get to help people, but I can leverage my time and still be present and still be able to do stuff and be able to turn it off whenever it is that I want to turn off. I couldn't do that as an entrepreneur with all my different businesses. I had to be available 24/7, 24
Yeah.
hours a day. It's crazy, craziness.
Okay, so this may resonate with you because I feel like we've had geek out on a lot of the similar things, but when I said I'm going to figure this out, I remember going home because I had 3 day stretch off that I didn't take up overtime shifts, right? And so I had a 3 day stretch off and I started getting on YouTube because that's really all that was available back then, right? And it was kind of fairly new. So I was looking on YouTube, okay, is there anybody in here that knows how to work from home? I'm like this mom who is burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, all the things, broke, but yet have a very high level paying job. Okay. But broke, seriously broke to where we can't go vacation. We're lucky if we're getting the gas and the food and all that covered without being negative, right? So, yeah, you get it. So then it was like, I'm looking online and I'm like, okay, how do I work from home? And I came across this lady on YouTube. I will never forget this. If my husband's asleep, it's middle of the night. I'm a night person. I'm watching these videos and she is just showing up and she's sharing her faith and she's like Hot Mess Express, only has 2 kids, and she's talking about how she's in this affiliate marketing situation and that she is making all this money, and she's not really saying the dollar amount, but she's like, I retired my husband and she is on the verge of like being able to quit her second job so that she could do this full time from home with her kids. And I'm like, laser focused, right? She caught my attention because I'm thinking, if she can do it, I sure as heck can do it because I have this professional background and all the things. And I thought, but I don't need any of that. I'm watching what this woman's doing. And that right there, she said affiliate marketing. Okay. So to me, I'm like, well, what's affiliate marketing? And start Googling what's affiliate marketing. It's the same model. It's network marketing, the same model as business. You have a product, you share a product with the people have great results, they share the product with other people. I don't care what you call it, social marketing, network marketing, affiliate marketing, influencers, they do all this. Like, it's all you get advertised to all the time, right? It's something that we're so used to doing, but yet people have this weird stigma. And I'll tell you, for me, that stigma was not even a thing
Mhm.
because the pain that I was experiencing, my back being up against the wall, right? Being broke as a joke situation, that pain was way worse than any other pain that I could have experienced. So for me, it was like, I'm going to figure it out. Like you vowed to be at your kids' events. I vowed I was going to figure it out to be a stay at home mom and make income and contribute to our family with my children. It's possible. I know it's possible because other people have done it. Right. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, and you hit the nail on the head because my stigma was there because I had done business cards and websites for network marketers before, and my
Mhm.
dad had been in network marketing, so I had all this preconceived notion. But like you said, when the pain is higher than what is that your perceived value was, and I got a result before it is I actually decided to do the business. I actually got a result. I actually dropped weight and I was looking good. And the way that I'm wired is I can't help but tell people about something whenever it's good that might be able to help them. And that's how I accidentally started making money at the very beginning. All I was doing was just telling people, people were noticing, and I was like, this is what I'm doing. Look, this is it.
Yeah.
Chocolate or vanilla. I mean, it wasn't really.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at it seriously as a business until I started making enough money where it was starting to match some of my other side hustles, and I got to get rid of those. I was teaching at the community college, teaching web design classes at the time. That was 3 hours, 3 times a day out of my week that I had to be in town, which I couldn't travel. I couldn't be at my kids' stuff, and I got to get rid of that was the first thing, and I was like, wow, the time freedom of being able to do that, the ability to be able to be with my family and do this around the nooks and crannies is what really, really lit up my life. And then as I taught other people to do it and they started to be successful, and then we had this military team and they started to spread all over, I started to realize the power of being able to teach other people how to do what you do and leverage your time.
Yeah, because
That
it's
was
no
huge.
longer 1 plus 1. You are maxed by yourself. You can only do so much, right? You can only share something with so many people by yourself. But when you have a group of people are doing it, now you're stepping into multiplication. And honestly, Alistair, like I teach on this all the time because I'm a women's ministry pastor. This is kingdom principles, you guys. Like
Yes.
this is literally from the Bible. It's kingdom principles. Multiplication, think of discipleship. Jesus was here. He didn't just go spread the word by himself. He raised up disciples so they can go out and spread the word. And that's how the word, spread like rapid fire. I'm just saying. Do me a favor, grab that blue bottle behind you because this is there you go. Okay, so this is wild. You were saying you had a result, right? Like when you first started, and that's what you shared. Now that bottle right there, take the bottle, like show them the bottle inside. I'm telling you right now, I need you to hear this. Okay. For the people that are listening, I'm saying this and I don't really talk about this very often. I might get all teary eyed and all the things, but this bottle right here saved me from some really dark times. I was going through probably one of the most stressful times of my life. No joke. Okay. I got a hold of that bottle because my mental health was tanking big time. I was back in a position where my back was up against the wall, stressed out, overwhelmed, exhausted. Okay. I was going through some major changes. God was showing me some things. Unyoke here. This door's closing. This door's opening. And I literally cannot thank God enough for putting those drops in my life at that time. P.S. I was pregnant with baby number 9. Okay. And we just moved to our ministry land on the parsonage. So we went from one state to the another state with all of my children being pregnant and starting, God was closing some doors and he wanted me to walk through a brand new door. So my head was just like, it just felt all over the place. And I'll kid you not, and Joy can attest to this. I cried, Alistair, probably 3 to 4 times a day, locking myself in the bathroom or in the closet so my kids didn't see me. And I'm like, I need help. I got the drops for me. It was a selfish motive. It was for me. I'm always pouring out into everyone else, okay, in business and ministry with my family. And I just thought, I need this for me. I wasn't even thinking about sharing it until I started to see my crying spurts went from like 3 times a day to maybe 1 time a day. And then shortly it was like non-existent. And then I started to actually see I was getting myself back. My hormones were balancing. I was sleeping better. I was getting more energy. I was waking up refreshed, which is not like when you're pregnant, that far pregnant. And I'm 43, by the way, 43 years young. So like I was just like thinking, this is wild how my body is responding to this simple product. And all I was doing, like, it's crazy because it's odorless and tasteless. So I almost was like, is it even going to work? Right. But I understood that it was activating my vagus nerve and that's responsible. Like the nurse in me is geeking out, like that's responsible for all the things. So it's going to work because if it's activating the vagus nerve, I have a vagus nerve, it'll get activated and eventually it'll work. So I'm here for the long haul. All literally just putting one dropper full in a cup of water or coffee. So simple, right? And I'm like, I could do that. If it's complicated, I'm not doing it.
Right.
I'm too busy for complication. And my mental space was not
Not there.
available for complication, right? So if I'm like, I could commit to doing this, and I actually started doing it twice a day. So like in the morning and at night, dropper full of my drink every day, every day. I kid you not. Look, I figured this out. Okay. Let me just give you the Cliff Notes version. I figured this out. Remember, backtrack to I'm going to figure this out, crying mess in the hospital with my husband and the baby on FaceTime. I have figured this out. I have mastered what we are doing here. And this business model has legit changed my life. I don't care what you call it, affiliate marketing, social marketing, network marketing, your marketing. I don't care what it is that you call it. It is paying the bills. We're actually making income for our ministry, and I'm able to do it in my bedroom. I'm in my bedroom right now. Okay. My
Right.
kids are here running
Right.
around. I'm doing this with my family on my own terms.
I got a puppy that's begging to get in the seat.
Oh, that's it. Like I'm doing this on my own terms. No one owns me at the hospital, tells me when I have to clock in, clock out, right? Yes, I do. It is work. I have to discipline myself to make sure I have my time chunk hours, but I get to do it around my children.
And we get to help change lives. Thank the
Uh-huh.
Lord for Joy Kinney being bold enough.
Yeah.
Because I was like you, I was at my wits' end. I'm trying to think. I'm like, look, I know this industry is strong, but I've been in it, for 15 years. And is it time for me to be able to do something else, right? It's what I'm doing is obviously not working for me. I'm teaching other people and they're being successful, but it's not working for me right now. And I'm praying like, Lord, give me a sign on what it is I need to do next. We got our nonprofit and I'm traveling overseas to Africa. I'm like, okay, maybe that's my next season, everything else. And Joy's just bold enough to see that I'm in the hospital with my blood pressure. And she's bold enough to say, this is not about the business. This is about your health and we need you around. I love you enough to be able to tell you you're going to get on the. Joy knows how she has to talk to me, right? And she's like, I'm going to send you these drops. You're going to put them in water and you're going to take them because I've seen the testimonials of how it's helped people with their blood pressure and how it's helped people. And you are at the extreme of it. So what do you have to lose? And I was like, you're right. But like you said, if it's not simple, I'm not doing it. And so I was like, I got it. I was like, it's like I'm putting water in water. What is this about? But
Yeah.
then I started to see everything start to calm down. I started to get out of that fight or flight. My doctor had even told me before this, before even the drops, he said, you've been at such a high level of stress for so long with your businesses and everything it is that you do that you don't even realize that you're stressed. When I'm in the hospital, I'm not having any of the symptoms that I'm almost about to stroke out because I had
Yeah.
been living at that level of stress for so long. If I hadn't gone to the doctor to refill my blood pressure medicine, I wouldn't even known that I was at the level that I need to be at the ER. Then I started taking these drops. I started getting better sleep. I started getting rid of the brain fog. All these different things that I didn't even know. My blood sugar, which was high, and I didn't even relate that with the blood pressure. I mean, even being a health coach, all this stuff starts to be able to level out. And then I start adding other things like the emulin that helps with the blood sugar. It's just amazing how it is that once it is that you start to get a result and you start telling people about results, and I start putting some of my clients still do whatever it is I'm doing. They're like, what are you doing next? I want to do that. So I started with those people and I just started giving them and they started getting amazing results. And my parents started getting amazing. It's just amazing how it is that my family member, my uncle, he dropped 45 pounds on accident, just doing the drops, right? And as you start to get people that you care about and people that are in your circle results, and then I realize, like you said, we can relate because we've gotten this down. We've gotten the system part down. We've gotten the training people part down. We've gotten the how to get people successful down. We stood on big stages teaching people how to be able to do this. So now you give me a product that I care about. I've gotten a personal result and I know that works. That's very simple. I don't have to worry about any kind of recipes or anything else. It's very simple to be able to use. Oh, I got excited then. That's when I started to
That's
get
it.
really excited.
That's it. Okay, literally what you said, that is it. And that's why we're seeing people have such great success with these products and sharing them, specifically the drops, because it's literally water and one other ingredient.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't even need to know all the things about it.
Nope.
It's literally like all humans, all animals have a vagus nerve. You take the drops, you drink liquid to get them down to your gut. It activates the vagus nerve. It
Yeah.
works on everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of how your body's going to adjust to it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
And we got people putting it in their coffee. We got people putting it in their orange juice. I mean, it's just amazing. You could do it. It's just get the drops in your body. If you don't have the discipline to get the drops in your body, we have to have a whole different mindset conversation, right? But if you
Yeah.
can do this, you have the opportunity to be able to completely and totally change your health, to change your life. That activates you to be able to want to do more. Like now you're like, okay, now that I'm feeling better, what else do I need to be able to add to my system? And that's what I love being able to do because now we can work on the mindset behind food and all the other stuff that I like to work on with people, but it starts with something super duper simple that can get a result. And then what ends up happening is these people start to notice that they're getting results. You're not as moody as you used to be. People's kids are like, "Man, mom, what's going on? Because you're a lot calmer. You're not snapping like you used to be, or
I
whatever
am
else."
telling you, I could attest to that.
All of a sudden, they're not as stressed out. They're not having anxiety attacks. One of my clients, she didn't even recognize that she hadn't had an anxiety attack since she's been on the drops, and that was her main reason she came. But it was so easy and so calming that she didn't. I was like, "When was the last time you had an anxiety attack?" She's like, "You know what? I haven't had one in a while." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's these life altering changes, but they're so subtle on what it is that you do, and they're so direct to what it is that people are coming for. That's what's making a difference. And then she's like, I think I got some other people that have some PTSD and some anxiety. You think they'd be interested in this? And I was like, look, you need to make us some extra money. I heard you talking about how you need to make some extra money for Christmas. Let's go, right? And
Yeah.
that's as simple as it is. It's just find a need, fill a need, right? You get a
You know,
result, help other people get results.
Alistair, it's like, okay, people need money, during the Christmas holiday season, all that. But I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth. I was a single mom, for a time. I needed money just to get gas to take my
Yes.
kids to school. You know what I'm saying? Like, nowadays it's a lot of money to fill your gas tank. Just gas alone, to have money for gas for some people, that's life changing. We could sit here and I could tell you how much money we're making and all the things. Actually, legal, I can't, but like I could say we have enough money to go vacation and all these things, and we're making all this, and paying the mortgage, and I could say all that. But I really want to break it down. Like, let's take it back, because I remember where I was when my back was 100% up against the wall and we were counting change, okay, to take to the change machine in the grocery store so that we could actually pay for groceries.
Been
That's
there.
the kind of, like, my back is up against the wall. And when you are in a situation, maybe that's you, or maybe it's not that extreme, but you're like, you know what, I'm broke all the time. You have to tell your kids you don't have money for that, or sorry, we can't go there because we can't go out to eat, because I mean, going out to eat with 9 kids plus my husband and I, that's like a bill, right? so
Yeah, I can't
so it's
imagine.
like, when you are in a situation where you don't have the money to do the things that you actually want to do in life, to live life, instead of working so hard to pay the bills, to do it all over again and being burnt out, exhausted, overwhelmed, you stay in that cycle. i
Yep.
i had to break that cycle. It was non-negotiable for me. And I love when people come to me, or they come to us in general, and they're like, I'm just done, I need help, I need to make extra income. Look, we've got this down. We can help you. It's actually a very simple process. If you're coachable, it's a very simple
Coachable. Yeah,
process.
very coachable.
And we could show you how to make money. You tell us how much money and how much time you're willing to dedicate. We will show you how to make that money. The cool thing about this model, this is what I love, okay? Because people have this stigma. The stigma for me is, there's no stigma. When you
But
experience success, there's no stigma
yep,
around it. Okay.
breaks all of
You
that.
got to link up with the people that know how to do it. And we
Yep.
know how to do it. So the invitation is here. But the cool thing is, I don't have to, like, say, well, I maxed out at this amount because, the person that is my boss makes this much and I can't make more than him.
Yep.
There's none of that here.
And I gotta
There's
wait
no
for them to say how much my value is for them to give me X amount of raise, and then I gotta beg for it and hope for it, and then maybe I'll get it, or hope for a bonus, and maybe I'll get a bonus. Let's go to the other end because I get to work with like millionaire people who it is that are running businesses and everything else like that, and all they want is time. Like
Mhm.
they have all the money, they have all the stuff, they have all the cars, they have all the vehicles, but they have absolutely no time to themselves. And they have no time freedom as well. And that to them is more valuable. I've had some of those people come on board because they're like, look, I got all the stuff, I got all the money, but I have no control of my time at all. And if I can find something to leverage where I can actually have control of my time, and that's kind of where it was when I first found network marketing, is like I had all the businesses success and everything else like that, but I had no control over my time. And that was more valuable. I wanted to buy my time back. I wanted to
Yep.
be able to there was no money I could pay to be able to get my time back. And I actually went to go sell my web design business, and the guy said, I can't really help you sell it because it's all based around you. And if you leave the business, then most of your clients are going to go too. So even though you have all these clients, you have all the success that your business is doing well on paper, you can't stop working. And
Mhm.
that hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, what do you mean I can't stop working? And Wendy can't design websites, right? So if something was to happen to me, I knew that that business was in trouble. You know what I mean? Because nobody can run it like I'm doing. This we get to teach you how it is to be able to make residual income that keeps on coming in whenever you can. I saw a question. Shout out to Carla Weber. What's up, Carla? But Marie asked the question. She said, "Is it good for a 12-year-old teenager with mood swings?" This is her
Oh, I
question.
have a 12-year-old, and I'm not going to say she has mood swings 'cause she'd be
Like
so mad if I
all
said
12 to 15-year-olds.
but let's just put it this way, she's on the drops. Okay, I actually only do half a dropper for the first like couple months with her just to get her body used to it, and then I she does one full dropper. And what's really cool about it is that she actually knows how the difference in her body. She could feel the difference because it literally brings you from flight or fight kind of mode. Another way to explain this is like feeling tense up or in tension, aggravated, irritated. Okay, it brings you down, chills you out, but it doesn't make you tired. It's so you still are productive. I homeschool my kids, so she loves to have her drops in the morning before she starts homeschool, and I
Yeah.
that's why I take mine in the morning, and then at night I take them to chill out if she needs to take them to chill out. I also have kids with restless leg syndrome, growing pains and all the things at night. Right before bed, it's a great option for them.
I
Natural.
mean, we
It's
have
natural.
people, yeah, we have people that are giving it to their small kids, their babies, their
Mhm.
dogs. We have a lady who it is that gives it to her horses to calm it down because they all have vagus nerves, right?
Yep.
And because it is that it's natural, because it is that it's just matured hops in water, mature hops MH3 in
Mhm.
water, then it's extremely safe for that. So to answer your question, yes, the
Mhm.
12-year-old reach out to me, I'll get you hooked up, lady. Thank you for watching it as well, right? So
Can I
so
just
just
add
all
really quick, Alistair, to her? I just want to say, I know how I feel when I'm stressed out and moody. Seeing that shift in my daughter is everything to me.
yes.
Everything, because I don't want my child struggling in her own mind.
And when I hear my son talk about all his friends that are have ADHD and that are all these medications and they don't like it. They don't like how the meds make them feel, right?
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, man, just give me it in front of their parents because I would love to give them an option besides the strong medications that the kids don't like, you know? I remember
Yeah.
one of my friends who said he grew up on Ritalin. He said, I will never forget how it is that that made me feel. And because his sons, the teachers wanted to put him on that same stuff. He said, I would never do that to my kid because I remember how that felt. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And he's in his 40s now. He remembers as a kid how that felt being on those drugs and this ability to be able to help those people. That's just a whole different passion of mine, right? Because I love working with youth and I love mentoring youth, but to be able to help them to create a baseline so then we can work on all the other challenges that they have, that's huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
and from a medical standpoint, this is a really good alternative.
Yeah.
Really good alternative for what you're describing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that are out there struggling, not just kids, but adults as well. And
Yeah.
we get a chance to help them, right? And then we get a chance to be able to teach people how to help people and then make some extra money and free up some of that financial strain that they have. I mean, it was a huge blessing. It's a huge blessing. I love working with you, Rose. You know, that's why I said when we have these
Right.
conversations. We have to let people kind of be a fly on the wall and sneak in and hear some of this stuff because we have these conversations. We have big visions and big
Yeah.
goals of what it is they want to do with your ministry, with the ministries that I work with, the Kingdom Relationship Network and the Miracle Farms Foundation, and being able to use this to be able to not only help our own families, but also to be able to bless others is a huge, huge thing. As a matter of fact, if you're watching this, shoot me a message. I'll send you. We did a whole thing just about for kingdom builders, people who it is that
Mhm.
are running nonprofits, how we use this to be able to fund our nonprofits. Shoot me a message and I'll shoot you the link to that podcast episode that we did because that was huge and that was powerful as well. Rose, thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, your story is so inspirational. I wanted the people that I know to be able to hear it as well. But I also wanted to give the opportunity because, like I said, I see it so many times, and I reach directly out to people most of the time. But sometimes just hearing somebody who's going through it or has gone through it is just empowering and motivating, right? So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on and sharing your
Yes,
story.
I feel like we need to do this more often because there's so many things that we could share. And I'll tell you just one last thing I want to leave people with here is that again, I started this for a personal reason, right? I needed to be healthy so that I could literally walk out my mama assignment being the best version of me, right? Walking out being an entrepreneur, the best version of me, being a ministry leader, the best version, pastoring so many women, being the best version of me. I can't come to the space showing up as the best version of me being burnt out, overwhelmed, and exhausted. And I know that that's why you started them as well, right? And here we are helping thousands and thousands of people collectively. It's the ripple effect. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you for having me on. And I look forward to doing more of this with you.
Thank you so much. All right, guys, reach out and let's get this done. We'll talk to you soon.